For some reason, my review of My Little Pony: A New Generation was, for quite some time, the most viewed video on MovieForce. One would hope that after 2019, the Brony fandom finally died, but unfortunately the ride never ends. So, in order to rack up more of those sweet, sweet views, and going against the philosophy of Walt Disney, I'm going to follow Pigs with Pigs, and review the New Generation film's predecessor, My Little Pony: The Movie. It is a time of celebration in Equestria, and Princess Twilight Sparkle is being run ragged trying to hold the Festival of Friendship together. But a wrench is thrown in the festivities when the Storm King invades Equestria, putting 3 of the 4 ruling princesses out of commission, and leaving it up to Twilight and her friends to stop the Storm King and save Equestria. Can Twilight and her friends complete this seemingly impossible task? I mean, yeah, probably, otherwise this is going to be a pretty short movie. The film tries to work as a standalone in the Generation 4 continuity, and it both succeeds and fails at this. I believe if you have never seen My Little Pony before, and someone shows you this film, you may be able to follow what's going on relatively easily without any struggle. Twilight acts surprisingly out of character in this movie. When she feels like she has no other option, she resorts to thievery, stealing an important item instead of trusting her friends to obtain it legally, and thus leading to the obligatory third act breakup that main characters almost always have in many children's films. You'd think that after 6 seasons of learning that friendship magically solves everything, she would be a lot more relaxed and nonchalant about the situations that she and her posse are put through in this movie. But the film instead kind of places her back in her season 1 to 3 character arc of struggling to trust her friends for some reason, until she learns, as redundantly stated, that friendship quite literally is magic. It's solved all of her problems for seasons upon seasons of scenarios, so why is this any different? The main villain of this film is supposed to be the Storm King, but he's more of a secondary villain, a final boss if you will, the Palpatine to this film's Darth Vader, Tempest Shadow, a villainous unicorn with a broken horn who is working for the bad guys in hopes that her horn will be repaired by the Storm King. Big surprise, this doesn't happen, and she ultimately teams up with Twilight and her friends at the final moment to take down the Storm King. I do like the character of Tempest, and she's given an excellent character arc in the comics. We never see Tempest on screen ever again, aside from a brief cameo at the end of Season 9, and even then it's very blink if you miss it. However, she gets her own miniseries in the IDW comic book run, where she tries catching up and making amends with one of her childhood friends that indirectly caused her horn to break when they were children. Each of the main characters in this film are given something to do, except for Fluttershy, who kinda just tags along for the ride. She does do this at the climax of the movie, but that's about it.
You seem tense. Do you want to talk about it? Let it all out. Oh, sorry, our time is up. Bye-bye.
I like the new characters that appear in this film, particularly the hippogriffs. This film establishes their presence, and they remain in the series for the rest of its duration. The Storm King feels very much like a character that they wanted someone like Will Arnett to voice. Like the typecast of sarcastic villain who enjoys being evil just fits Will Arnett very well, and I can totally see him in a role like this. Instead, though, the Storm King is voiced by Liev Schreiber? Sabretooth Liev Schreiber? I did not see that coming. He seems to have had a lot of fun with this role, and he goes absolutely ham and just seems to make the most of it. Many of the new key characters in this film are played by celebrities, as is custom for many animated kids' films. However, these celebrities are typecast. These are characters who sing, and so most of the actors in this film are people who have had previous experience singing. Emily Blunt plays Tempest, and she does an excellent job. Her voice is very sultry, deep, and intimidating, and she has sung in films such as Disney's Into the Woods. I may not like Disney's Into the Woods, but Blunt's singing is absolutely beautiful, and she does an excellent job in this role. What?
This is bullshit.
What?
I hurt my tooth, that's all.
No, I'm recording a video for YouTube.
That's cool. You got a YouTube channel?
Yeah.
That's cool. I do too.
He has a legit YouTube channel.
What the hell you don't?
I do!
He has a
It's
legit
called Taco Flipper. I make hella views.
Taco Flipper?
Taco Flipper. Because I used to work at Taco Bell.
I'm gonna have a workout program.
You don't need flip tacos.
It's gonna have to wait some for
It's gonna be called Gunnies.
No, it's gonna be called Applejacked.
Applejacked.
The worst
You're gonna call your YouTube channel Applejacked?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
I may not like Disney's Into the Woods, but Emily Blunt has an absolutely beautiful singing voice, and she was an excellent choice for this role. She plays a lot of no-nonsense characters like Mary Poppins and that one lady from A Quiet Place, so Tempest just fits naturally. Taye Diggs plays Capper, the suave conman cat who befriends and plans to pawn off the characters to pay some debts. He has had experience singing on Broadway before, having originated the role of Benny in Rent.
And the owner of that lot next door has a right to do with it as he pleases. Happy birthday, Jesus.
His voice is warm and welcoming and fits the character of Capper like a glove. Zoe Zeldana plays the role of Captain Silanu. I haven't heard Zeldana sing in anything before. I know that she's played characters and iconic female heroes such as Gamora and Neytiri, but wasn't sure about her vocal experience, and so I was blown away when I heard her sing for the first time. She has this very full, boisterous voice that contains a richness and tone. I absolutely adore her voice in this film, and I hope that we get to hear her sing more someday.
I feel the light stirring deep inside. It's like a tale still yet to be told.
Finally, there's Kristen Chenoweth, one of Broadway's modern-day Golden Girls. At a young age, she performed in many regional theater productions, and she got her start on Broadway in the 1999 revival of You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, where she played the role of Sally, Charlie Brown's witty little sister. She plays key roles in television programs such as Schmigadoon, and she also played Mrs. Noodle in Elmo's World back in the late 90s and early 2000s. She has a very bubbly personality similar to her character in this film, Princess Skystar. It was a joy to hear her sing and perform, having grown up listening to her voice in musical cast albums from Charlie Brown and Wicked in my teen years. Overall, this additional cast is very robust and well built, and it's a shame that we never got to hear any of them in these roles outside of the film. Are they gone? Okay, they're gone. Next thing I want to talk about is Princess Celestia and how she is a totally insane, narcissistic psychopath. There's this episode of the show, I believe it's in season 7, where the students of Twilight's School of Friendship are putting on a play all about Celestia. Celestia has always wanted to be in a play, and so she has Twilight cast her in it and gladly raises and moves the sun for this play that maybe like a couple hundred ponies tops are going to view because this is a school play. Family and friends are always obligated to go to these even if they don't want to. But Celestia isn't the center of attention at the Friendship Festival, so nah, no moving the sun. Why is Celestia willing to risk the safety of a planet for a small school play, but not for a big social event like the festival that nearly the entire kingdom is going to? Actually, now that I say it out loud, that kind of makes sense, but that's still extremely stupid. The animation in this film is absolutely gorgeous. This was the first time in a long while that we had gotten a 2D adjacent animated film in theaters in that era. Disney had long abandoned 2D animation by this point. I think their latest release was either Moana or Zootopia, both of which were 3D animated. It's noticeably upgraded from the flash animation of the television show, and they'd used this style again for a TV special called Rainbow Road Trip, which may as well be lost media at this point. Like, this special never got a digital release or anything. I think it aired like once on television and then disappeared forever, never to be seen again. I think you can still find it on YouTube actually, but that's about it. The voice actresses for the main 6 ponies and Spike still do an excellent job in their roles. You can tell that they really love their work. Their voices are full of emotion and depth no matter how small or big their roles may be. The music in this movie is a lot more theatrical than the tunes in New Generation. That's because this film is presented as more of a large-scale epic, an almost operatic type of story. And so the Broadway-style songs, such as We Got This Together and Time to Be Awesome, fit the tone very well. Emily Blunt's number Open Up Your Eyes is an excellent villain song. It's just a shame that the character it's attached to isn't very three-dimensional. But then again, she has more dimension than any of the famous Disney villains do. Overall, My Little Pony the movie is a solid film with beautiful animation and excellent music. I'd recommend it if you're a fan of the show, and it's worth checking out even if you're just a casual moviegoer. Pretty good film. I'd give it a 6 out of 10.